Okay, just want to make a little update as I'm gradually making progress on this audio board for the McGrath Mini. Progress is slow, but every day I kind of chip away at it a little bit. Got a few more circuit sections wired in here. But you can see my amount of remaining space is pretty limited. And all this stuff over here so far is just basically the input section, which is technically one of four similar sections in this circuit. Each one of these four is associated with one 12AX7 tube, so they're kind of symmetrical in that sense, but actually the input section has more passive components than some of the other sections, so hopefully I'll be able to squeeze everything here. I mean, I will be able to, but the question is exactly what kind of gyrations I'll have to go through to get it all fit on this board. But yeah, you can see here's the plate, grid, and cathode for the two tube sections that comprise the input section, the first 12AX7 V1. Got the plate resistors here, 100K high wattage resistors, and the cathode resistors there. And then this section of components here is the additional components that are switched in by the voice switch into the cathodes of both tube sections. So this is the input section, first tube section here, and then this triode here is switched in by the boost relay when boost is requested. So both of those cathodes have these additional components switched in depending on the setting of the 3-position voice switch. So that is there. And then up here is the scoop switch, which switches in these components here. This is basically the same components as you would find in a Fender tone stack, except instead of pots, they're just fixed resistors, which basically create the frequency response of a Fender with the treble and bass turned up pretty high and the mid-range turned down pretty low. The mid-range resistor would be right there, but it's 0 ohms to ground, so mid-range is all the way down, so it gives a scoop characteristic. Those components are right over here. Here are the two larger capacitors and the associated resistors with the scoop circuit. So the voice and scoop are quite a lot of passive components that take up quite a lot of space, but as you can see, my spacing is kind of bled over into the space for the next section, which will be the VMID EQ. Fortunately, the VMID doesn't have that many passive components. It does have a few, but mostly it's about this dual gang pot here, and so we'll see. Hopefully I can fit the rest of those components into the allotted space that's left over here and kind of catch up and leave some space for the rest of the stuff. Of course, my V4 here is impinged on by the components for the power amp, so yeah, space is at a premium, but I'll find a way to fit it. If things get real desperate, I'll start putting components on the back, I suppose, but I hope it doesn't come to that, because it's nice to be able to reach all the components on the top side while the board is in situ. Here's the 120 puff bright cap, which is switched by the bright switch there, and yep, that's that's what we're looking at so far. So, got a little bit of progress. I suppose you could say 1 out of 4 of the 12AX7 sections is largely wired up at this time. And onward and upward we go. Boop.